could you talk a little bit, maybe even about the Byzantine experience of Lent? We were talking about pre-Lent, but I'm even wondering, if any students at Wyoming Catholic voluntarily kind of enter into that, because it's a lot more intense than what we're used to, at least now in the West. We
Yeah.
used to have a similar Lent in the West as well, but Lent's kind of gone. I would almost say in some
Yeah.
regards in the West, like we don't really do Lent anymore, actually. What do you do in the East?
So, all right. So we do have a number of students that keep it, which is amazing. And then that maybe helps explain what the pre-Lenten getting ready for Lent. Once you understand what Lent is, it makes more sense, sort of the
Right.
pre-Lenten gear up, perhaps. So the Lenten fast for the Christian, the traditional Lenten monastic fast for the Christian East, is one meal a day, no meat, no dairy, no oil, no wine, and so that means you don't have fried foods, you don't have eggs, you don't have any animal products, uh, and you end up not eating. And then the first week of Lent, the tradition is you try to eat as little as possible, so that some will eat not until the first evening liturgy on Wednesday, so they won't eat Monday, Tuesday, and then they'll eat Wednesday night, and then they'll eat again Friday night. But the whole point there is you're trying to eat as little as you possibly can. There are a couple of feast days where you do get to eat fish. So on the Feast of the Annunciation, on the Feast of Palm Sunday, you can eat some fish. What's the point of all that? Well, there's two things that happen. One is super intense. Two, it allows you to, when there's feast days, to moderate a little bit, right? When you have a feast day during Lent, it's not Easter. So you're able to moderate your penance a little bit. So all right, so that's the basic structure. So then the pre-Lenten days are getting ready for that. So Wednesday and Friday this week, you eat one meal a day. You don't do meat. You don't do dairy. Keep the fast just twice a week. See how it goes. Next week, there's no meat that's eaten, but you can still eat dairy. And then the week after, the full thing starts. Uh, it's intense. Now, the thing is, it was also intense for the Western Church for a number of years before. And we tend to think like, oh gosh, I can't possibly do that. But of course you can. Of course you can. And there's people, in much more dire straits than we are in America, eating much less well than that, uh, who are able to do this. There's a great story about the Jesuits who, when they went to evangelize India, they were telling the Hindu village they were evangelizing. They said, okay, so it's Lent. And this is the modified Lenten schedule. At one point, the Jesuits told them, they said, look, we only eat meat once a day during Lent. And the villagers came to them at a certain point and they said, Holy Father, it's just too hard. Can we lighten the penance? They said, what do you mean? They said, we just can't eat meat this much. Uh, so I think there's a way in which the radical call, you have to discern with your own spiritual director. The other thing for the Christian East is this is not like a law. Everyone does it. You talk with your spiritual director, you modify it in the best way that you can. You have various levels of intensity for the fasting. You moderate it for Sunday. You do various things. But the maximalist approach to fasting, I think, is really a message we need to hear right now.